God damn it, the game's gone again. Oh wait, it's back. Hi. Welcome to PowerWash Simulator. That's it. You wash stuff. I don't really think I need to give you the whole, like, the cliff notes. You know what I mean? The game is simple. You spray and you pray. I'm going to turn down the volume because you probably don't want to hear this for the rest of your life. Hello. If the game is too loud, please tell me. I will fix it right away. I can switch the nozzle. Um, so I've been realizing, I'm not realizing, I've always kind of known this. I just thought it was about time I try to fix it. I am really bad at commentary. Like, disturbingly so for someone who's been streaming as long as me. Or as long as I have. Wait, can I? There we go. That's the... and I decided, why not pick a game where I can't just talk about the gameplay? Instead, why not pick a game where I have to talk on my own? You know? I've been getting into Mortal Kombat again. Just because I'm really bored. And I have like an itch for fighting games right now. And I was never really big on Street Fighter. But that's not because I dislike Street Fighter, it's because I'm personally more drawn to the weird characters in most games. Like, for example, like if you give me the choice for like stupidity or viability, I will probably pick stupidity every time. Would I stream Mortal Kombat? I would love to. I'll probably wait for the new one to come out, which is all the way in September. Which might take a while. But I've been just like thinking about it. Fighting games are so hard to learn, dude. Like, I have like a good chunk of respect for people who learn fighting games, especially those who can master them. I mean, I at least know how to like press buttons, but like, I was never good at like quarter circles or like tilting the stick a little bit. That was never really my thing. I don't need to change that. Actually, I do need to change that. I need the 0 degrees nozzle. So, like, I've just kind of been watching a lot of Mortal Kombat videos, mainly boredom, and I realized something. Why the fuck in like Mortal Kombat MKX and like MK11 did they like put in like Cyrax or like other characters into the game and not make them playable? Like in MK11, they had a section where you fight Cyrax, but Cyrax is not playable in MK11, not even as DLC. Like, why do that? You program the character in and everything, and don't you just don't do it. Fuck you. I don't see the purpose in doing that. I'm missing I'm missing a small part. There we go. Our first job done. Yeah, like the tiger with 4 arms. Yeah. But those are more like boss characters, you know? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like a boss character is a little bit different. Alright, I want that and that. That, why not? Well, I could get a different nozzle for a lot more. All right. Now we're really getting into it. I just like I think that they also did that with some other characters. I can't remember off the top of my head. But most of the time it was just like boss characters, you know? I gotta be honest, I really do not like how characters, especially in fighting games, are locked behind like pre-order bonuses and like not made available after that. It's a personal gripe for me because like trying out different characters is such an essential part of a fighting game, you know? And by removing part of that, you kind of make it just a there's a cat. You kind of just make it a little bit more bland. I know it's just one character, but like that's one less character that I cannot play. That's one less character that might have been my main, but I can't play them because it was a pre-order bonus. All right, you ready to see? I've done a few of these levels already, and I did this the first time, and I adored doing this. Who's the best Mortal Kombat character? I have a heavy bias for Cabal because when the first Mortal Kombat game that I ever played was Mortal Kombat 9, or at least that's what people call it, and I didn't really know how to play fighting games. I still don't, but I made Cabal and just basically spammed. I didn't go into online or anything because I was too nervous of getting sauced. But Cabal was my first main. And I have a soft spot for him for that. Although, if we're talking favorite in terms of personality, I love Kato. He's such a dick. He's the worst. And I can't get enough of him. My back itches. I like Sub-Zero. He was always cool. You know, Raiden, Liu Kang, of course. Just common sense, really. I'm trying to think. I don't really have a good memory of most of these characters. I'm sure you probably know this by now, but I tend to be drawn to garbage. So like if they ever, which probably will never happen, but if this does happen, if they ever bring back meat, I will main meat. I will probably do that for shits and giggles. Or mocap. Because it's stupid. Although, I gotta admit, my least favorite characters in Mortal Kombat is anybody in the Special Forces. Anybody in the Special Forces. Because normally for me, and I know this is kind of weird because, you know, it's a fighting game. You should go and fight other people. Cabal is not in the Special Forces. Okay, was in the Special Forces. He was technically a cop. However, that's different. That is different. Cabal got cool. And also, please, let me finish. Before I get, like, ripped in half. Let me explain. Oh yeah, I do like Jax and Johnny Cage, but like the most recent Mortal Kombat game, I think the only interesting one there was Jax. And it wasn't just because he was depressed for most of it, it was also because he had cake. Have you ever seen that one clip of I don't even remember which streamer this is, and he's like, "Show me who did it." She kind of bad though. Is that Frost? I love that clip. But I just, in a game where I could play somebody with like 4 arms, or, you know, have a flaming skull underneath my hood, or I don't know what the fuck is going on with Melina. Why would you choose to play just like a normal member of the Special Forces? And not only that, their chapters are like always the first part of the story, or at least normally they are, and it's so fucking boring. It is so boring. Because every time it's just, it's like, you know what it's like? It's like watching a Godzilla movie. And now hear me out when I say that. You might not understand what I mean when I say that. But when you go to watch a Godzilla movie, do you go to hear like generic military banter the whole time? No. You go to see big monster destroy the city. And like, it's the same thing there. I'm not there to watch generic military spiel. I'm here to see Scorpion rip a dude in two. I want to see Sub-Zero turn somebody into a snow cone. You know? I don't want to hear, like, someone say Roger every 40 seconds. It's boring. Yeah, I want to see Kato do the funny. Oh, I cannot wait to get the time lapse at the end of this. It's so beautiful every time I watch it. Oh. Wait, Johnny Cage was already casted and it's not The Miz? Are you serious? He's like perfect for the role. They're basically the same person. Trying to think. What else can I talk about with Mortal Kombat? I could probably talk Mortal Kombat for a while. Yeah. Best DLC character? Well, there's a lot of DLC characters. I have a soft spot for Freddy. Not only because I think he's my favorite slasher, but because your favorite is Rambo. Alright, alright. You love the interactions? That is a good choice. That is pretty good. Although I did love playing Terminator. Alright, hold on. Let me... Yeah. Alright, I want to get the fence done. I'm glad that I learned that you could just, like, auto-spray, or else I would have gotten carpal tunnel from this stream. I kind of don't want carpal tunnel. Let me think. Was the 2010 Mortal Kombat movie any good? I've heard like mixed things about it. Not 2010, 2021. My bad. You heard it was okay? That's good enough. Or at least for me, that's good enough. I don't know about everybody else. I'm not really a film critic. mean, I'm a little bit critical of stuff like that, but or like film and media, etc. But I find that sometimes like a critic can go from being just like fair to just utterly pretentious in like a few seconds. You know what I mean? I think that we've like reached the point where we're getting the definition of uh being like a critic and or like giving or what's the word, advice? No, I don't know. I don't remember the word, and it threw me off completely. I got completely thrown off by my own inability to speak English. The gospel? No. What I was trying to say. Oh, okay. The word is criticism. That was the word. I think that we've gotten the definition of like being of like criticism and just like being a straight up dick. Like kind of mixed nowadays, you know? It's like there's people that you know. I'm not trying to push the be nice to everybody on the internet. That's a losing battle. But like I'll see people just be like utter assholes to somebody, and then the moment they get defensive about it or like say something back, they're just like, oh, I was. You can't take criticism. It's like, no, that's not criticism. You're a dick. You're a dick, dude. Um, excuse me. I just try to get my thoughts together. What was I going to say? Help me. What was I going to say? Read my mind. Find it out for me. I remember seeing, oh yeah, I think that, like, the real moment that I stopped believing most critics was the Mario movie. And I think that was the case for a lot of people. Because, like, they're just like, oh, the movie has terrible pacing and this and that. It's just like, well, yeah, it does. But did you really expect the Mario movie to be like a cinematic masterpiece? It's a movie about the Wahoo Man. It's not exactly the most like intense plot, you know? My head already hurts from like wiggling my mouse around. How long until this thing is clean, dude? I've been like going off on it for like the past minute. There you go. Now you're looking spiffy. Alright, let me make sure I get these chains too. Give a review of some random game. Am I allowed to say the name of the game, or do you have to like guess? Is this like a fun game? Are you playing a fun game before you put me down? Oh boy, oh boy. If you want it to be, we're gonna do like charades. I mean, I could do charades. Let me try to think of a game. I'm thinking like really hard. I don't want it to be too obscure. Okay. This game is an utterly pointless sequel, and it's basically the same thing, but a tiny bit better. I only streamed it once. Kindergarten 2? No, Kindergarten 2 was fine. I still personally prefer the original, but it was alright for what it was. Although you are close with the 2. I like get an angle on this. There we go. There's the control panel. If you give up, just tell me. You don't know? It's Overwatch 2. I also didn't see the rules before I threw out an answer. What a fucking mess that game was. Or still is. I actually played a bit of Overwatch before this stream. Bad idea. Bad idea. Although, technically saying I'm going to go and play Overwatch is just a bad idea in itself. But every single time you hop on that game, you just, like... You want to break your own keyboard. It's bad. It's not... Overwatch ranted coming. Ooh, I've been meaning to do that for eons now, and I never really got around to doing it. What a perfect time to bring this up. I don't think I have ever loved a game and hated it so much as I have Overwatch in general. And it's not just because the fan base and or most of the community makes me want to smooch a semi-truck going 70 miles an hour. It's mainly because, like, of the balancing. That's the thing I hate the most about Overwatch and Overwatch 2. You know what? I'm just gonna say Overwatch is like a blanket term. So when I say Overwatch, just assume I'm talking Overwatch 1, 2, 4, 7, Jeff Kaplan's Fucktastic Adventure or whatever. I don't care. What will basically happen with Overwatch is that you'll have a character that'll be in, like, maybe a decent spot, and then you'll just have a bunch of people complain about them. And they complain so loudly that the devs are like, oh yeah, this character clearly needs fixing, despite what anybody else says. And so they'll, instead of fixing them, they will utterly ruin them for, like, the next month or two, maybe even, like, 4 months. And then they'll come back and then be like, all right, we're going to buff this character. Their win rate is just, it's in the dumpster. It's in the trash. And then what they'll do is one of two things. They will either actually fix said character or make it worse. Or, in another case, make them so unbelievably strong that they define the meta for the next 3 months. And that always pissed me off because it's just like, I would get invested into a character, I'd start learning them, start learning more about them, how their playstyle works, etc. Only for them to get hit with, like, the hammer of God And then all of a sudden, they're just absolutely cheeks. And there is stuff that I don't know if I could go into. Because I don't know how I'll sound. Overwatch 2 enjoyer? Listen, every once in a while, I need to be reminded in my life that it can, in fact, get worse. Overwatch is that game that I play to be reminded that it can get worse. Why am I carrying this? Set down. Down. But then also, what they'll also do is they'll be like, all right, we get it. This character is a bit too strong. We hear you. We hear your complaints. And then they'll like nerf the one part of the character that was fine, and or they'll like, I can't even entirely explain it. It's like a roulette wheel. Every 30 seconds, there's just like a new bundle of shit. And it's fucking awful. And I don't even touch the competitive side of Overwatch, because I genuinely think I would pry my teeth out if I had to listen to somebody. I think that what ended up like really happening to Overwatch that really made people not like it was that if they took a lot of the more funny stuff out. Like for example, when Overwatch first came out, it was actually it didn't have hero limits. So like you'd be playing a game and then all of a sudden you get jumped by like 6 Winstons. And sure, it's not very fun to play against, but it's very funny. You know, I would rather have something funny than something practical. That's just me. Like now they have roll queue in Overwatch, which basically means that you can choose between playing as a tank, playing as a support, or playing as a like DPS, damage dealer, etc. So you get to choose. If you choose support, you'll probably be blamed for something. Unless you're like God's gift to man. If you're a tank, you're going to be bullied by everything. And if you're playing DPS, you have done nothing wrong, apparently. Because you are everybody's favorite special little guy. I don't know. I thought that this rant was going to have a lot more energy attached to it. I think I'm just very jaded with Overwatch at this point, you know? Like, I've kind of just reached this indifferent point where I'm just like, yep, same shit every time. And I just don't care anymore. No matter what I do, I'm just, like, the game still makes my blood boil every time, but then at the end of the day, I still go back. It's like, it is an actual abusive relationship of a game. And I have never in my life experienced a game like that. Okay. Let me get this. This side. That. Get that, and somehow it's still not clean. There's the windows. Alright, I need something else to talk about. Let me think. I could just talk about gaming in general. Just, I mean, I am a Twitch streamer. It is kind of my whole thing. You know? I really just hate the free-to-play model in general nowadays. I mean, I like being able to play the game for free, but I hate having everything locked behind a paywall. Even if it's not, like, pay to win, just, like, I want to earn stuff, you know? It doesn't feel right if I just get it all by swiping my debit card or whatever. It's not rewarding enough for me. I need to feel rewarded, or else how will I ever truly feel free? EA would be happy with my choice. Well, yeah, it can suck my ass. Am I missing any of this shed? I don't think I am. Alright. Now for the hard part. This part sucks. The roof? We got the roof. The roof is nice and clean. Let me just get rid of all the general grime on this. But yeah, I still have to get these stairs. You know what? How about we get the porch done first? I want this porch to look nice. Can I draw a happy face in here? Nice. Just like, if I buy a game, I want to get the full goddamn game, you know? I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, well, if I buy the premium battle pass, I can get the rest of the game. And God forbid they have an expansion pack. I go absolutely feral when I think of expansion packs. Like, I don't think a DLC should be anything more than, like, 20 bucks. 20 bucks for like, a DLC. I think that's fair, because, you know, if it's worth 20 bucks, why not just have it in the main game? But it's even worse when, like, the expansion pass is, like, ongoing, and it holds off so much more of the content, and it's, like 24, like, $30. It's awful. I hate it. I hate it so much. You have no idea the burning hatred I have for season passes. Because why let me buy the DLC individually, you know? Why not, why let me, like, try out one and see how I like it, and then maybe I don't want to try out another. Maybe I don't. Maybe I do. No, you have to buy the whole thing. I don't want to buy the whole thing. I just want to try out this, like, one piece of DLC. I think some of the worst DLC I played in a while. Well, of course, the worst DLC I think I've played is the Dead Space 3 one. I think that a DLC lives and dies by its price tag. Because, like, if it's too pricey, I don't fucking want it. Funny said back. Funny callback to the earlier topic. The Mortal Kombat Aftermath DLC was $40. I'm not paying $40 to hear the end of the story. No, fuck you. $40 to hear the end of the fucking story. Eat my ass, dude. Like, I get that it probably takes a lot of time to make and this and that, but $40? $40. It's, if my memory is correct, Aftermath wasn't even that good. Like, if you really wanted to, why not bundle, like, a few DLC characters in with Aftermath? I don't know. Don't make me pay for DLC characters and then pay for Aftermath. I don't like that. It makes me angry. Let me get under this table really quickly. That's the good stuff. Where this table have I missed? There we go. That's one clean table. And one clean garden chair. I think that the real way to, like, think about how good a DLC is mainly based on what you could have gotten instead of what you got. And I think that no point proves it better than at the end of the Dead Space 3 DLC, when I literally went on Steam and listed off games for like $10 that you could have gotten instead of that DLC. Like, you could get better stuff. Payday 2 is like $10 right now. You get hours upon hours of content in Payday 2. I got an hour of content in Dead Space 3 Awakened. And I didn't even like Awakened. Although I didn't like Dead Space 3 in general, so it's not like it really had a chance. Hold on, let me get inside these crevices. That sounds unreasonably dirty, I'm sorry. Where's video game characters go? Everybody from Dead Space 3. I don't hate a lot of video game characters. I really don't. I do not like Devora. I do remember that because I have Mortal Kombat on my mind. She's gross. Gabe for The Walking Dead? Abso-fucking-lutely. Never again. Never again with that creature. Every time I hear that name, I think about Gabe's stupid, smug fucking face. And it's like, it makes like blood vessels in my head pop. Bubsy? Yep. The Bubsy Twitter account has been silent since like 2022. What happened to him? Where's Bubby? Where is everybody's favorite Bobcat? By everybody's favorite Bobcat, I mean, I'd rather be mauled by one. I will have to go back to Bubsy at some point. I actually planned on doing it this month. But the thing is that, like, I think that I kind of peaked with Bubsy 1. Bubsy 2 was just really confusing and tiring. It wasn't really that hard, especially because I save stayed like a little bitch. What am I missing here? Barbecue patio trim. Lawnmower. Alright. Come here, lawnmower. There we go. There we go. Anything else? Alright, cool. So where be the dirt? There's the dirt. What else is missing? Shed foundation. We did miss a part of the shed. And windows. Okay. Now. Okay. Pond liner and some fence post. There's that. And this what the fuck is a pond liner? This is it. And it's the one there too. Worst movies I have ever seen. Oh, I'm actually not a big movie person. Man, I am so fucking boring. Worst movies I have ever seen. I mean, a lot of bad movies I watch because they're bad. Like, I go in kind of knowing that they're bad and be excited because they are bad. I like bad things. Yeah, I don't like myself. Funny how that works, right? Hey, we did it! We did it! We did it! Oh, that time lapse. Oh. Oh. The time lapse. Oh, get the pawns now. Oh. Alright. Let's do a small jump here. Let's clean the dirt bike. I have a big soft spot in my heart for the movie Willy's Wonderland because it's fucking stupid. It's such a bad movie. But I adore it. I adore it to the ends of the earth. I think I just, like, have a fascination with bad stuff. Excuse me. With bad stuff. Like, bad media. It is such a weird fucking movie, dude. And I love it for that exact reason. Like, who could forget the quirky part of Nicolas Cage's character where he has, I guess, a fetish for a pinball machine? Or at least that's what I got from it. Alright. Okay, so we need to do the engine. Okay, there's the fuel tank. I'm just going to walk around this until I eventually find the spot. The front suspension. Oh, shit. We talking, like, right around here? Yeah, we did it! I literally talked about Willy's Wonderland for a whole mission. I technically did. Clean as an egg. I don't know how clean your eggs are, but you know what? You go off, man. You go off. I should have bought some more stuff. Oh yeah, this is going to be a big job. I'll start by cleaning off the driveway. But, like, it's also such an unbelievably generic movie. And it's so fucking corny. And I love it for all of those reasons. It's corny trash. And it deserves the world. Although I feel like Nicolas Cage is a really nice guy. You know? I've heard that he is. I would love to meet him. And of course, once he enters Dead by Daylight, oh god, I'm immediately doing a stream with Nicolas Cage. Would I want Nicolas Cage on my stream? Yeah! Of course I would. Not just because it's Nicolas Cage, but the publicity would be pretty cool. I feel like I could use that considering I'm on a dying streaming platform. Twitch rant incoming. A part of me really wants to do the whole rant. But another part of me knows damn well that, like, Twitch will probably send, like, a Twitch assassin to kill me. I've been thinking about just making, like, a full-ass YouTube video on it. And I don't know how to make YouTube videos. I don't know how to script. I'm not very good at editing. I said more like, I'm not very good at anything. Which is also true. But I gotta admit, my favorite thing about the Nicolas Cage collab in Dead by Daylight is the fact that Nicolas Cage, like, in Dead by Daylight, is just, like, missing in the real world. You know? It's normally in the lore, like, everybody who gets taken by the entity goes missing. So Nicolas Cage is, like, actually missing in like, the real world. And I find that unbelievably funny. Hey, we got the garage door. I want to clean up around the sides of the house really quickly. I think that would look somewhat nice. Have like a base to start on. I wonder if they're going to do anything more with Stray. Because I'm still holding out for like something to happen with that game. Because I fucking loved that game. I think it was like one of my favorite games I've played in like recent memory. I mean, it might not be like the most impressive game. Somebody basically just called it a walking simulator. And they're kind of right, but also kind of wrong. I'm more there for the aesthetic and the vibe. I think that the vibe of some video games, like, it's so important. You know? I think that some games that nail, like, the vibe really well, even if they're not, like, the best, it's just the vibe they give off. Silent Hill, from what I've heard, Silent Hill's gameplay is not the most interesting. But, like, the vibe of the place is just, it's so strong. That's what makes the game so good. There we go. We got all the little corners. Alright, should probably finish up with this driveway. Faster if I go this way. How have I not finished up this driveway? Oh. There we go. I do like how that looks. Well, not the rest of the house, but I like how clean it is. Yeah, I might do after this stream. I might take a fucking nap. I've been so tired recently. But that's probably because of my terrible sleeping habits. But I tried going to bed early last night. I was just like, oh, you know, maybe I'll actually be on time for a stream for once. And of course, what ends up happening is, like, I basically just roll around in bed for like an hour or two and feel like I got no sleep at all. How much water do I have? Like, do pressure washers run out of water? All right, let me break out the turbo nozzle. It's good for small little staves that are hard to get out. There we go. Let me get that back. Actually, let me go shopping for a minute. I haven't really bought anything yet. Ooh, can I buy something pretty for this? Yeah. Wait, so how do I change my power washer? I am using the Prime Vista, right? Right? Oh god, what if I'm not? What if I'm an idiot? I'll be so embarrassed. Alright, equipment. Yeah, I'm using the Prime Vista. Alright, give me the soap nozzle. Why not? And soap. A bunch of soap. I think that I needed a chill stream for once. You know, I like to always have a chill game to kind of return to every once in a while. Because a lot of games that I play on this channel are all like doom and gloom, or the world is going to end, or please kill my dad, or whatever. It's nice to have a game where I don't have to do all that. Instead, I just make minimum wage power washing stuff. Although I definitely would not call this minimum wage. There we go. I have to find some more games to play soon. I'm actually currently running out of games to play. So I'm kind of open to anything right now, except Over the Hedge, the video game. Play Spider-Man Miles Morales. I could do that. Although I heard that a new Spider-Man game's coming out soon, so I might just play that one instead. I would love to try out the new Street Fighter. There's a demo on Steam. I wouldn't mind trying that out sometime. Stream Mortal Kombat 11. I could do that, but it'd probably just be like an hour of me getting my ass kicked by people with more skill. I was gonna say better connection, but no, it's more skill. DLC and its story. Do I have to? Would I have to do Aftermath if I do the DLC? Or no? Oh. Ooh, the Modern Warfare story? I actually wouldn't mind that. Didn't they? I remember them making like a new Modern Warfare recently. And I think it kind of changed how stuff, like, goes, if my memory is correct. It might have, it might not have. I might just be stupid. I am just stupid, but I might be even sillier than I thought. Do I have the log extension here? Okay. I remember back in the day, Call of Duty was actually like, it was good. It was good. No loot boxes, no nothing. I mainly played like Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3. Those games were fun. I know some people didn't really like Black Ops 3, but I had fun with it. Mainly because I was playing zombies instead of the actual multiplayer for the most part. Zombies was the shit, dude. Like, I would rather play zombies than anything else. When it comes to... hey, cat. Cat. Hey. Cat. Come here. I command you. You're strong. Oi! That's a terrible joke. You stop that. God damn it. That was good, but my feelings, they hurt. How could you do this to me? I like the sound of the pressure washer just like very quickly slapping against the chimney here. Also, can someone explain to me how I seem to be able to remove rust? Because I think I just removed rust from this, and I don't know how I did that. Why am I up here? You know, I was just thinking, why the fuck was Toadsworth not in the Mario movie? It's like they made a Toad character for like an old man, like wise sage Toad, but they just didn't use Toadsworth. Like, why even go through all the effort? You already have a character that is perfectly suited for the role. I don't get it. I don't understand what Nintendo does. I will never truly understand Nintendo. Like, I thought, like, if Twitch is out of touch with its, community, that Nintendo is so out of touch, it still thinks that we're paying for games with war bonds. They are so bad. I like their games, but I dislike them. But talk horror, I dislike a corporation. Did I just talk politics for a second? Wait. It so does that mean I get banned? Because I broke my own rules. So like if I were to get banned, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I mean, I can't get banned. I'm the streamer. I can't just go like, ah! All right, I'm back. Thanks for the joke. I think every so often I just let politics slip. Because I mean, god damn it, I'm American. It's all we talk about at the moment. The reason why I don't actually like to talk politics in my stream is because I've seen like your entire people's entire perception of a person change just based on their political opinion. I'm not saying that some political opinions are a bit risque. How about that? But what I am saying is that maybe if we just don't talk about politics, we could all get along. And especially because, like, American politics are so goddamn hostile. Like, you have no clue how hostile politics are right now. And technically, this isn't against the rules, because I am talking about politics, but yes, but I am not technically talking about things in politics, you know? I'm talking about the attitude surrounding politics. But I mainly have that rule in place because, like, throughout high school, like, every 40 seconds, it was always something new. Something new that we all had to hear about, and Twitter would blow up, and yada yada yada. And it's just like, I would just kind of like to have a space where I don't have to hear about everything every second it happened. Like, I really don't care that, I don't know, Joe Biden showed up wearing his lingerie. I don't really care right now. I have other things to do. Although he did look very good in that lingerie. Have I ever told you guys about my my favorite word in the English language? I don't think I've ever told you guys about that. My favorite word, out of all the words you could possibly think of. Deep Forest? No. My favorite word out of everything in the English language is defenestration. Which means the act of throwing someone or something out of a window. Because, yes, why wouldn't we need that word? But my only question is, what is the point of defenestration when you could just say defenestrate? Is defenestration like a term used for murder? Like, if you die from being thrown out a window, it's the case labeled defenestration? Or is it more of like just a fun word? Why do we need this fucking stupid word? And keep in mind, the English language still does not have a word for the day after tomorrow. There is no word for the day after tomorrow, but we have a word for if you throw someone or something out of a window. Because fucking why not? English is a very weird language. Right. Although, here's a fun fact. If my memory is correct, from the 2 years I took French in high school, English and French have a weird overlap in in like one tiny word, and it has to do with schools. So, you know, in America at least, you have, you know, like elementary, middle school, high school, and in English, oh, yeah, in French, my bad. In French, you have I think un liche, and you have like un collage. But the thing is that like un collage, which sounds like college, is not college. I think that's like middle school. So that always fucks me up. Oh, actually, speaking of an overlap between French and English, I've always been really good at spelling, and I want to tell you the story of the day my innocence died. Okay, maybe that's a bit of an over-exaggeration, but I am still a little bit mad about this, and this was in 8th grade. So, I was in 8th grade, as I just said, and we were doing, like, the tryouts for the spelling bee. And I was nailing it. I was doing so well. I was like, okay, I could go to the spelling bee. I actually have a chance to do this. And then the teacher gets to me, and she's like, okay, Spadley, spell Chow. And I'm like, Chow? Like, C-H-O-W. And she's like, no. I'm like, C-H-O-W. That's Chow. Right? That is Chow. Yes, please confirm or deny that that is in fact Chow. Yes, that is Chow. But the word she wanted was Chow. C-I-A-O. The fucking French word. Why is a French word in an English spelling bee? And I got out because of that. I could not participate in the spelling bee because of that. And to this day, I am still mad about it. It was bullshit. And I didn't even, like, in that school, since it was 8th grade, we didn't even learn French. We learned Spanish in that school. Like, I straight up got robbed, and I will never live it down. It's like my villain origin story right there. And I bet damn well that word wasn't even used in the spelling bee that year. A part of me probably just thinks that my teacher must have hated me. Which, I mean, was probably fair. I was a little shit in, like, 8th grade. Although, apparently, like, I'm a decent kid when it comes to most teachers. Which I don't really know if I completely agree with, but, hey, man, if it makes getting good grades easier, I'm down. I just like, it made me so mad. So mad to this day. I just, oh, gosh. So, I need to do a post. Where is another post? This the post of... Is this the post in question? This is the post in question. Alright. And now all we have to do is clean the roof, and we'll be done here. Name my canon events. The spelling bee was definitely one of my canon events. Absolutely. What could I consider, like, tragic enough? I wouldn't really consider this part tragic. I would just consider it kind of gross. I got a fishing hook stuck in my arm once. That was fun. I'll give you the context on that one. I went out to a lake with my friend's family and my family. Or maybe it was just my friend's mom, my mom, and my friend. And so, my friend's mom brought a fishing pole. And so I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like 7. I could totally use this. So I would go fishing with my dad. I know how to use a fishing rod. I did not know how to use a fishing rod. And I swing the fishing rod, basically, try to cast out the line, and I feel something kind of like pop in my arm. And I look, and it's just in my arm. And the thing is that I actually don't really remember it hurting that much. I remember the shock was the thing that made me cry. Hey, we did it! Please show me that beautiful time lapse. Oh, I can't see the back of the house, so I kind of just disappear from view for a little bit. Look at me on top of the roof. Oh boy. Alright, get ready for this one. This one might take a while. Alright. Alright. I like to clean all the small stuff first. That's just personal taste, really. Let me think. Do I have any other stories that I could tell you? Have I ever told the burnt popcorn story? I'm going through, like, all my good stories today. You don't know if I did? I could tell it. It's a fun story. So, I was up late at night once. You know, just chilling. I'm just like, damn, I'm kind of hungry. I want some popcorn. So I go into the kitchen and I get some popcorn and I put it in the microwave. Now, fun fact about me, I actually like my popcorn a little bit burnt. Or at least the microwave kind. A little bit burnt. Yes, I know, I'm a fiend. I'm aware of that. And so, I wasn't used to... No, wait. This was my old house. This was before I moved. I didn't really have an exact time down to have that, like, good, crispy, like, popcorn. So I kind of just put it in for a while and, like, checked on it every few minutes to see if it was good. And eventually it came out, and it was just like this molten ball. Like, it looked like I was trying to cast a spell on somebody. And so I'm like, okay, I have to get rid of this popcorn bag. So I throw it in the trash, and I'm just like, wait a second. If I throw it in the trash, people will know that I burnt popcorn. I don't want people to know that. Because, you know, who the hell burns microwave popcorn? Me. That's it. And so I was basically just like, okay, new plan. I put the popcorn under the sink and I basically just like drowned it out. And so I put the popcorn in the sink, I fill it up with cold water, and it goes from like this molten rock to like this just soggy ash. And it was disgusting. So I'm just like, okay, I got rid of it. It doesn't smell anymore. Now just put the bag in the trash. Oh wait, no, I poured the popcorn out into the sink. I remember this now. It's all coming back to me. The canon event. And so I dump it out all into the sink for some reason. Like I thought that would get rid of the evidence, but in fact that would actually just incriminate me even more. What am I missing on this bench? There we go. So, I swear to God, I heard other footsteps. So, I'm just like, okay, the popcorn is gone, the bag is gone. I can go to bed now, and nobody will ever know. And then it hits me. I'm like, I left the popcorn in the fucking sink. So I go back out. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning now. And I'm just like, I have to fish this all out of the sink. This, like, wet, burnt popcorn out of the sink. And while I'm fishing this out, I can hear somebody, like, nearby. And it's my brother, and he pops up, he's like, what the fuck happened in here? It smells like death. And I'm like, baby? And he, like, he basically can all, and I basically tell him what happened, and he looks at me, and he's just like, you fucked up. And I'm just like, yes, I know. You shut the fuck up. Let me fish out my popcorn. Don't rub it in. I deserve it, but don't rub it in. And so I fished it all out of the sink and just disposed of it, and then I went to bed. And the kitchen still smelled in the morning like burnt popcorn, so I was caught pretty quickly. What an unfortunate sequence of events that was. Let me get underneath the dinosaur. Let me think if I have any other stories. Any other fun stories to share. Ah, need to think. I swear to God, I am hearing somebody else walking. I might just be going insane because my only friend out here is a power washer. Pressure washer. Washer. It's my brother about to say I burnt popcorn. Not again, please. Speaking of burning stuff, I banned myself from using the toaster. And this was recent. I banned myself from using the toaster. 3 in the morning. I want toast, because why not? And I burn my fucking toast. 3 in the morning, the fire alarm goes off. And everybody's waking up, and I'm like, oh dear God. So I banned myself from using the toaster. I think it's for the best. I cannot cook for shit. Just like, please no, I cannot cook for shit. I have a habit of either burning everything or undercooking everything. I mean, I can make pasta. That's something I can do. That's probably about it. Alright. I want this dinosaur looking clean. I could tell you, about what my junior prom was like. You could finally learn what happened at prom. Oh my God. I just realized I completely forgot about that joke. Although technically I always, whenever I say that joke, I always mean senior prom. Do you guys want to actually learn the truth about that joke? About what really happened during senior prom? I could give you that... Wait, actually, yeah. Let's save it. It's not that exciting, though. Believe me, the result will not be worth it. It's the longest running joke. It is also the unfunniest joke on the channel. But I love it for that reason. Um, although, okay, normally as I said, normally when I say, it's just like prom, I'm mentioning my senior prom, so I can technically tell you what happened at junior prom, though, right? That is fair game. Hey, there he is. He's so pretty. Let me go down the slide at least once. This is the best day of my life. Part of this I miss. Yep. I think that should be all of those little things. There's that. Alright. Let me just, like, kind of clear the area around here. It'll make my life just so much easier. Not really. I mean, maybe in theory I should actually try to start with doing the floor. That could be a good idea, because it'll probably be the most time-consuming of the bunch. And if I just do it early, then I won't have to really worry about it. Hey, you know what? Let's do the floor. Alright, there we go. That is the entire roundabout cleared. I want to start over here and just kind of work my way around. Ooh. What if I start, like, over here and then I just kind of go around? And then I just go around again? I just kind of keep going. Actually, let me clean up, like, the edges first. Because that's probably going to be the part that I forget about, like, most of the time. I just realized I've been playing PowerWash Simulator for nearly 2 hours. Huh. I actually didn't expect this stream to go on this long. Because normally I would run out of things to talk about by now. And I am kind of running out of things to talk about, but I kind of like the occasional silence right now. As long as there's not too much occasional silence. You know? Like, currently I'm kind of just filling up the void with my voice right now. There we go. The whole edge is done. Wait, the, the mayor's cat is missing? Are you talking about, like, the orange cat that I've been seeing everywhere? Is this the lore? The PowerWash Simulator lore? Maybe this will be like one of those, like, trick horror games where, like, you think you just bought, like, a normal game and then it turns to, like, a psychological horror. I'm down for some psychological power watching horror. As a matter of fact, I think it's an untapped market. I've actually thought about, like, learning how to use Blender. And, like Unity. Just to make, like, stupid games, you know? But at the same time, like, I could make a stupid game. But I could also be overwhelmingly pretentious. Like modern art. Tape a fucking banana to the wall, call it art. Stupid. But like, I wanted to make a game where you just like walk home at night and nothing happens. But like you hear what sounds like a monster or like a person, and there's just nothing there. Because walking home alone at night is always kind of spooky. Unless you're armed, in which case, you know, you're kind of the scary one. I think that this park is going to look so good when I'm done cleaning it. Did I ever tell you the story about the time I kicked a kid in the face at Chuck E. Cheese? Without context, that sounds really bad. Without context, that sounds like I'm a full-grown adult and I just, like, came into a Chuck E. Cheese and just bonk. What ended up happening was, I had a lot of birthday parties at Chuck E. Cheese as a kid. And me and my brother, yeah, my brother's back in the story. Welcome back, SpadeSpadley. And, we wanted to go down this slide in the little, like, playground, whatever the fuck. And this brother and sister would not let us. They just wouldn't. I don't know why. They just wouldn't. And so we jumped down the slide anyways, because it was funny. And this kid sat on my arm as I went down the slide. So basically, like, it felt like sandpaper on my arm the whole way down. Wasn't fun. I gotta tell you. And then we all tumble out of the slide, and the other one chases my brother, and then this kid has me like on my back, and I'm like, my legs are up in the air, and he's holding my leg, and I'm like, wait a second, I have full control of my leg, and I pull my leg back, and I fucking kick him in the face. And then I just ran away. And I don't think I ever saw him again. Oh yeah, I've told this story before. I did it during a Dead Space stream, but I want to tell it again. Just because we're on the topic of Chuck E. Cheese. And also, I have a lot of stuff to say about Charles Cheese. There used to be a Chucky robot that was, like, sing and dance on stage. Well, not really dance, he would just kind of be stuck in, like, 3 different movements. And me and a bunch of kids, because they didn't have a railing on that thing. So me and a bunch of kids climbed up, and we're, like, running around Chucky. And I think I just gained sentience in that moment. I think that my, like, 7-year-old mind finally, like, booted up, you know? I finally installed all the updates. Because, like, I kind of stopped. And I was just like, what the hell is up with Chucky's back? Because you know how, like when like a costume or like a stuffed animal has, like, a piece of clothing on it, it has, like, the seam at the back. So it's easy to kind of take off the shirt in this case. Well, I saw that and I was just like, huh, I wonder what's behind that. And so basically, like, 7-year-old me was up on stage behind Chucky in his guts. Like, I basically, like, rip open the back. And I'm just like, oh my god, that's a bunch of wires. And ever since that point, I think every Chuck E. Cheese I went to after that always had a railing around Chucky. So, my bad, everybody. I might have ruined it. I might have ruined it. I ruined all the fun for the people who wanted to get into Chucky's ass. I'm sorry. Okay, and now I'm just going to spew random fun facts about Chuck E. Cheese, because there's a lot about Chuck E. Cheese you do not probably know. For starters, did you know Chuck E. Cheese originally had a hippo animatronic? I saw the text. It was funny. But yeah, Chuck E. Cheese originally had the most terrifying creature on the planet as an animatronic, and it would flirt with patrons for like a quarter. And I'm not even joking when I say this. I am not making any of this up. Its breast would go up when it hits a high note. I'm not even kidding. That was a real thing at Chuck E. Cheese. Would you like me to repeat it so that it can fully, like, suckle your brain? Yeah, that was a terrible sentence. Chuck E. Cheese originally had a hippo animatronic that would flirt with patrons for a quarter, and when she hit a high note, her breast would go up. Or, like, they would bounce. It's a real thing. And I think I saw, like, a small snippet from, like, the guy who made Chuck E. Cheese originally, and he was just like, kids were mesmerized by it, and he was like, what have we done? Also, fun fact, when a Chuck E. Cheese closes, it is apparently, like, in the contract that you have to destroy Chuck E. Cheese's heads. Can I see it? Let me see if I can actually find this video really quickly. Yeah, no, I don't care about that. I care about watching that yes, there it is. There it is. Okay, I'm just going to get the picture. All I want is the picture, because it just, without context, it's just really good. Look at it. Look at it. It's the worst thing ever. When a Chuck E. Cheese closes down, you have to smash his skull in, or else he will come back to hunt it. It's fantastic. It's like Chucky is like an ancient demon who has to be sealed away. Or like that, like, it's like Harry Potter destroying a Horcrux. It's so good. It's so funny. Also, fun fact, Chuck E. Cheese originally had a very thick New Jersey accent. And he was also a fucking asshole. Like, he was such a dick. Also, fun fact, apparently some pretty gross stuff happens at Chuck E. Cheese. For example, people wank in the Chucky suit. Yeah, you should know that. You should know that while your kid is inside the ticket blaster, Chucky is blasting himself. That was the worst joke I have ever made. This is the end of the stream. Goodbye. Oh, that is such a satisfying sound. Just the sound of it just like slapping against it. It's lovely. How have I not finished cleaning this yet? What did I miss? Okay. There we go. Let me think. More Chuck E. Cheese facts to ruin your childhood. Because I guess that's what the stream is now. Did you know Chuck E. Cheese, did you know Chuck E. Cheese? God, I just... There's like so much information in my head right now that I've never had such a potentially powerful sentence as did you know Chuck E. Cheese blank? I didn't expect that to be one of my most powerful sentences, yet here we are. It just radiates this like evil energy. Oh god, I'm trying to think. There's so much. If my memory is correct, Chuck E. Cheese was actually made by the same people who made Atari. Or one of the same guys who founded Atari. There's a non-cursed fun fact for you. You're welcome. That'll be 50 bucks. Do not actually give me 50 bucks for that. One day I'm going to like make that joke and say that'll be 50 bucks and someone's actually going to give me 50 bucks and I will feel so bad because I don't mean it when I say that. There we go. Yellow floor circle. Don't tempt me? Okay, first of all, the only person losing there would be you. I would be $50 richer and you would be $50 poorer. And if you preface it like that, I'm not gonna feel that bad. Oh yeah, did I ever tell you guys, speaking of feeling bad, about the one time in my life I skipped school? I don't think I've ever told this story. What am I missing on the circle? Yeah, I skipped school just once. Only once, and then never again. I feared for my life. As a matter of fact, The fact that my mom didn't kill me for this, pretty revolutionary for me. So, my bus had a small habit of sometimes just not showing up. Just sometimes the bus just never showed up and I couldn't go to high school. How, like, all my parents worked and I had no car because this was like sophomore year. I legally couldn't drive yet. And I know some people be like, oh, but you would be 16. My birthday's in August, so no. So basically, we all go to the. There was a convenience store where we basically all waited for the bus, and we're all waiting there, and the bus is not showing. We wait and we wait and we wait, and it just doesn't show up. And my friends start to get rides, and I have one friend who is basically just like, "You want to try skipping school?" And I was just like, "What? Skipping school? I would never. I'm a good boy." I didn't actually say that, but I was just like, okay. You know, peer pressure, follow the crowd, etc. And so, oh, that's what I was missing. Because you'd be a nerd? Yeah, they'd shove me in a locker and leave me there to die. And so, like, one of my friends is like, hey, my mom's here. Do you guys need a ride? And we're like, no, we don't need a ride. Teehee, teehee. And so, everybody's gone, and I'm kind of nervous because I have never skipped school before, clearly. And so, this was while Smash 4 was still out, or not still out, but this is before Smash Ultimates. This took place like pre-December 2018 or like 2017 maybe. And I'm kind of nervous at this point. I'm just like, I've never skipped school before. You know, what if we get caught? What will happen? Because of course that's where my brain goes. My brain has a habit of immediately thinking that everything will go wrong the minute something happens. Like, I will definitely be the first guy to hit, like, okay, think of it like skydiving. Alright? The people who are confident that nothing bad will happen probably won't pull the parachute for a while. People who aren't as confident will probably pull the parachute quicker. I would probably get out of the plane and immediately pull the parachute. That's how bad it is. And so, we go over to their house, and we're playing Smash 4. And we're, you know what, at this point, I've calmed down a bit. You know, because it's been an hour or two, and nothing has happened. We're chilling. We're chilling. It was sodas and chips and everything, and Smash 4 all day, baby. It was going to be great. And then all of a sudden, a voicemail from the school. And it was kind of like everything in that moment froze, you know? Like, you know how, like, in action movies where, like, something really dramatic is happening, time kind of slows down? It felt like that. It felt like everything had slowed down to a crawl. And so, I'm sorry, let me recollect my thoughts here. So, we basically, he gets up and he looks at it, and it's like, it's from the school. It's just like, just let it ring. Just do that. And we hear it. We hear the voicemail. Your child has been marked as absent. All of a sudden, everything crashes. Everything is now going 1,000,000 miles an hour. I look at, no, you know, let's do my friend first. My friend gets a text from their dad being like, you know, where are you? I'm coming home. Did you skip school, etc.? And I look at my phone, and my mom is just like, "Where are you?" And I'm just like, "Oh shit." And my friend's like, "Yeah, you better go, man." And so I start walking home, and my street back before I moved was basically just a straight line down where that convenience store was. So I'm walking home, and I see my mom's car pull up right next to me. And I was like, this is it. I perish right here, right now. I'm going to be, like, mauled to death. And my mom's just like, get in the car, you know, just... And so, basically what ends up happening was she took me home, and I felt really bad, and she basically says to me, you get one. You get one. You do this again, I'll cut your nuts off. She didn't say that exact phrase. That was just me being over dramatic. But she literally was just like, if you do it again, you know, I'll have your rear end cut off and mounted over me fireplace. And so, basically, at that point, it was cemented. It was cemented in my brain. I will never skip school ever again. And I didn't. What a terrifying story. Although, speaking of my bus, fun thing that... Yeah. Fun fact. I actually was excused. Yeah, here's the twist ending to that story. I was excused from school that day. Because since the bus did not show up, that counts as an excused absence. Yeah. So, at the end of the story, basically, we went through all of that for nothing. What a glorious day that was. But yeah, also, speaking of my bus, there were a few times where it just didn't show up at all. Like, one time, it like, snows the day before, and, like, they just cleared the streets out. And so, basically, I'm, like, ice skating down my street to get to the bus stop, and the bus doesn't show up. And I actually had a habit of getting to my bus stop early. So what would basically happen is that I would see everybody arrive, and I also got to watch everybody else slowly, like, be like, I don't think the bus is coming. Which was kind of interesting to watch, because it was weird. We all, like, sure, some of them were friends, sure. But, like, in that moment, we were all, like, a symbiotic union of just this indifferent care. Or lack thereof, I guess. And we all basically just were like, the bus isn't here, fuck it, we're going home, and we're all going to bed. They can shove it. And so, what ended up happening is, I get home, and guess who's there? My mom. And she's like, why are you home? And I'm like, the bus didn't show up. And my mom was just like, all right, you know what? I'm going to be late to work. Just stay home. I don't care right now. I have to get to work. And later on, we got a phone call. And the story seems more and more familiar as it goes on. And it's the school saying, we are sending a replacement bus. And my classes had already started at that point. So I basically was just like, no, fuck that. And I'm sure a bunch of kids also felt the same way. I just remember this part being a little bit annoying, so. I want to get these done. All right. And then let me get the ones over here. I don't really have too many, like, fully interesting stories. Because push comes to shove, I'm not really an interesting person. Or at least I don't think I am. What I consider interesting? I just consider people interesting when they have a lot of stories to tell. You know? Like, I have a weird, not bias, but more of a weird opinion that if I could choose between a job, like, that would pay well and do shit like that, or a job where I could get a good story, I'd probably, weirdly enough, choose the one where I could get a good story. I know it's stupid, but I just think that getting a good story is just so much more valuable. You know? Like, I've literally said that I would bust tables at, like, a strip club, but just to, like, ask so many questions to the strippers. Not sexual questions, I just want to hear their stories. You know? Because I think people in that line of work probably have met some pretty interesting people. For better or for worse. That's why it fascinates me so much. I want to learn. Bring a stripper on stream? Well, actually, I can't do that, but what I can do for you is, if you want to find strippers here, go back to the main menu and click on hot tubs. You'll find a bunch there. And I'm going to hell! I'm going to get in trouble for that one. Jesus. I don't know where that came from. That came from, like, a dark part of my psyche. But, I also think that a lot of fast food workers are interesting because, I mean, come on. Fast food stories are like the cornerstone of interesting stories, you know? You can find some of the weirdest people. And I love that. I feel bad for the employees because they make like jack shit for the torment they go through. Ain't worth it. What am I missing in here? Oh, yeah, probably that. Let me think. I feel like bartenders could have an interesting story. I do have a story, since we're on the topic of, since I just mentioned bars. I worked with a bar, not in a bar, but with one. And basically what I did is, the bar was really popular, especially around the summertime. And so a bunch of people would usually leave trash and shit all around the town. And so what we would have to do is get there super early and walk within like a certain radius of the bar and pick up trash. And basically what we would do is, since the wages were terrible, what would end up happening is we would all meet up together to kind of like clock out together at like a park. So we would sit there for like just five minutes, you know, because it was like 7:30 in the morning when we would have to arrive. So we were sitting on the park bench, and you know, we're just chilling for a minute. We're getting ready to go back soon, and this guy pulls up in a pickup truck, and he says, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And we're just like, just sitting here. And this guy is just like, "Oh yeah? Well, I know the owner." And so I kind of, even though I was the oldest in that group, I kind of like shuffled into the back. Uh, and one of my coworkers was just like, "Okay." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm really good friends with him." And he, you know, drives off. And in a few minutes, my boss comes over and starts yelling at all of us. So this fucking asshole drove up to a bunch of teenagers and, like, tattled on them. And, like, sauntered off like he was the best thing on the planet. And so, what ended up happening was he pulled everybody over individually. And when he pulled me over, he's kind of like, "I want to ask you whose idea it was to do that." And I'm kind of like glancing around because I'm trying to avoid eye contact with the dude, because that'll make me nervous. And so I'm like, "I don't know, man. I just follow the crowd." But looking back on it, what the fuck was that guy doing? It's like, it was like 8 o'clock on a weekday in July. What are you doing with your life, man? Do you not have anything better to do? Like, it's summer. Go to the beach. Do something else. Anything that doesn't annoy me. And I mean, to be fair, we did kind of deserve it. We shouldn't have been there. However, you paddled on a bunch of kids, and I bet he felt real good about that. Like, he probably got out of his car and had to, like, hide his, you know what? I can't get that. I can't say that. That might be a bit too sexual for Twitch. My bad. I am still cleaning this park. I just realized it's been like an hour. An hour of just cleaning the park. This also counts as my community service, so, you know. That is almost the full floor done. We just have to get a few other, like, little bits. Right. There it is. The entire floor is cleaned. Look at how nice that looks. Don't look at that. Look at how nice this part looks. Wow. I do actually have another story from that job. It's not really much of a story, but it is possibly the most difficult workday I have ever had. Within, like, my first week on the job, oh my god. Subreddits are protesting by allowing porn. That's great. That's hilarious. But basically, I started working, like, near the end of June. Because that was when school got out. You know, it was just a summer job. And so, the 4th of July rolls around, and what do people do on the 4th of July? They go to bars and get wasted, of course. At USA. USA. And so, what ended up happening was, we had this place in the back called the Sand Pit, which was basically just a volleyball court that, like, we sometimes rearranged to look like a place to party. And basically, we come in, we clean up, you know, the trash, do our normal routine, and then my boss is just like, all right, now you guys are going to clean up the sand pit. And the thing about the sand pit is that it's awful. It is so bad. We got there at 7:30. We left by 12, and we didn't even fully finish. And also, we technically weren't allowed any breaks, because technically our shifts are not normally 5 hours. That would be weird if it took us 5 hours to finish our normal shift. So we technically didn't get any breaks. We worked in a sand pit in July, picking up trash. I have never seen so many uneaten McDonald's cheeseburgers in one place. I swear to God. Like, the amount of shit that people just leave around when they're drunk. I found, and I'm not even joking here, I found a whole motherfucking cob of corn just in the street. See, I think it was, like, on the ground near, like, a telephone pole. What? Like, what? Like, not even a bite was taken out of it. It was a whole ass cob. But, like, there were so many questions I had. 1, where did the cord come from? 2, what is the cord's backstory? 3, does the cord like to go out for lovely walks on the beach? You know, I had so many questions. That was probably the weirdest thing I found during that job. Although the second weirdest thing, and it's not weird given the context of the people I'm cleaning up after, but I found a pair of shitted pants, and it was on a fence, like hanging off of someone's fence, like a steel fence. And so I actually kind of pieced together the lore on my own for this pair of shitted pants. My best guess was that somebody got absolutely hammered, and they go home and they try to get inside, but oopsie daisy, keys don't seem to work because you're hammered and you have no clue what you're doing. OMG shit pants lore. I know, revolutionary moment right here. Um, so what I think happened is that I'm assuming it looked like a male-sized pair of shorts. They tried to climb over their fence to get back inside, but their pants got stuck. So what ended up happening is that they crawled over the fence and basically like wiggled out of their pants and just like left it there. I mean, technically, if you think about it, I stole someone's pants because they could have still gotten it back, but they're in the trash now. Yeah, I've been realizing recently. Recently, I've been realizing that I think that car commercials are getting more and more like unfocused on what the hell they're trying to sell you. Like, okay, picture this. Picture this for me here, okay? A man gets out of his car. He walks into the woods. He walks for what feels like hours, days even. At the end of a hidden stone path lies a lone gravestone with the words Daisy written on it. The man falls to his knees and starts to cry. The all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee. Like, what, huh? What the fuck do you mean? The all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee. What are you talking about? Like, I've seen, like, ads where, like, a dad forgets, like, his daughter's, like, binky, and he goes, like, on a long drive. I'm like, okay, it's just, like, an ad for, like, baby products. Nope, car. And the funny thing is that it's even worse in Japan. Like, I watched a few Japanese commercials for fun once, and it is even crazier than whatever the hell, like, we do over here in America. So at least America will, like, have the car in the commercial. Like, you'll be like, oh, I wonder what car this dude is driving as he goes to pick up his son from school. But, like, Japan will be like, assemble a Gundam. Fight the dragon. Save the princess or whatever. Bowser. And then, like, right at the fucking end, it'll be like, oh yeah, by the way, it's about a car. Like, where did you mention the car? At least in the example I gave, the guy was driving a Jeep Grand Cherokee. I didn't give you that detail, but there it is. It's so weird. Every time. And I love it. It's so good. I like having, like, a weird confusion with the person in the room with me. We are connected in this confusion. Right. And let me get this side. Let me get the rock wall. Yeah, I kind of wonder what a speedrun for this game would look like. Like, how fast do you clean this stuff? What is the world record for PowerWash Simulator? There we go, that's one clean slide. Let me just get under here while I'm out and about. Get that. There we go. Alright. That's finally the stools cleaned. That. Yeah. Try to get the under part of all this. I have to sneeze. Excuse me. Okay. Make sure you get all the tower support struts. Now we get the outside of this place. This is one of the longest missions in the game. However, it pays very handsomely. Yeah, man. I made $1,000 by pressure washing. What it's like to be a pro. There we go. Alright, that's the underside of that done. That part done. What? There's so much to clean in this park. Probably because I'm doing a two-man job by myself. Four-man job? Yeah. I mean, if you need 4 people, you know, if you're bad. Sorry. You see, a professional power washer doesn't need 4 people. He only needs himself and his crippling anxiety. Alright, where's the ladder? You know, I've been thinking about this for a while. Just stupid thoughts, you know, fill up leg space. I feel like you are losing out on a lot of good content if you avoid the property entirely just because of the toxic fan base. Would you agree with that sentiment? I mean, sure, the fan base might not be the best, but you're missing out on a lot of potentially good stuff, you know? That's why I mean, I used to be kind of one of those guys that was just like popular thing bad, but in recent memory, I kind of shifted the other way. I mean, if it's popular, it's gotta be good, right? Like everybody, like it felt like everybody kind of hated on like Squid Game, for example. I mean, sure, the ending was absolute cheeks. Doesn't need a second season at all. But I just think that like the moment something becomes popular, hating on it immediately, you're gonna lose out. You're going to miss out on some potentially really good content. You don't have to engage with the community, you know? Like, for God's sakes, I play Overwatch. I know a thing or two about not engaging with the community. I play Dead by Daylight. And I've probably been told to off myself more times in that game than I would be if I went on 4chan for 24 hours. I have to get, like, inside the crevices here. Okay. Then... Hey, that's done. That's done. That's done. What part of this roof am I missing? Do I have to go all the way around the roof? Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, yeah, probably that. Need the lock extension for this. There we go. One tower roof. Come on. Just be clean. Be clean, stay clean. I command you to clean. Okay. And then there's the problem of all of this. My god, I've nearly been power washing for 3 hours. I don't normally go this long. Just that tiny piece. I got it. Yes. Please. Right. Let me grab the ladder. Place it there. God, I'm still here. I'm going to be here until the end of time. Stubby. Oh yeah, I should probably make sure that I didn't miss thing out there. There's that. That. We should be getting pretty close to being done here. That. There's that. I know I missed one of these. Alright. Up onto the roof we go. We're almost done. Hooray. I've borderline run out of things to talk about. Also, my wrist hurts. Ah. There is now a mark on my wrist because I have been sitting weird. Or it was in a weird spot. Alright. Now we get this side. As now we just have to get the little cracks. Damn it. How much more can I do? This one roof is it's awful. All right, where's the part that I just like inevitably forgot about? Yep, there it is. Alright, what's left? Fucking climbing pole? Still? There. Get the hell out of my house. There's that. That. Alright, what else was left? Large bridge flats, slide platform, small bridge floor, tower floors, tower floor undersides. That, that. That. Get that. Oh, favorite games? I didn't even see that. I kind of blanked out for a while. I really like Portal 2. It's my favorite game of all time. Mainly because of nostalgic bias, and I just love Portal 2. Um, let's see here. I love Hollow Knight. That's a really good game. Okay, there's another one. Another one. One and that. Alright, what else? What else? Large bridge slats. I mean, no, that's the large bridge guard. Small bridge floor. What's that? Alright, small bridge floor. The tower tabletop, which is this. Ah. Alright. This is all that's left. There's one. I'm missing one tower trim. Two of the large bridge slats. These things suck because I never really tell which one is the one I need to do. So I kind of just blast them all. I hope that I eventually hit the one I need to. Maybe. Okay, let me try to look at them from like a side angle. There's one. There's two. All right. And now all we need is one power trim, which I'm not entirely sure where that is. My memory is correct. The tower trims are... They're these. That's what they are. Okay. Let's just keep an eye on the floor. There it is. Oh, where is the part that I'm missing? There we go. Finally. All right, let's watch this incredible time lapse. That's not bad. Not a bad time lapse. One more time. You know what? Let's end off the stream with the golf cart, just because it's really simple, really easy. I want to try to speed wash this. Where the hell's the bumper on this? Rear canopy support. I don't even know what the hell that is. Seat mounting. There you are. There, speed wash. Oh! Speed wash, go! Speed wash, go! Speed wash, go! Yeah. Alright, so next time, next time we play this game, we're going to be looking at, all of this. Yeah, that'll be fun. Some super weird, creepy sign on the outside of the house. Be this? In Cochian? I'm sorry? Would I play House Flipper? Yeah, probably. Oh wait, I'm supposed to be stopping. Oops, my bad. Here, how about I let people know who was here? There we go. Now everybody will know that I was here. And if they take my spot, I am going to hurt somebody. That's a joke, Twitch. Now everybody will know I am here. The mark of the beast. Alright, thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. I am so tired. And my hand hurts. You don't power wash for 3 hours and then just be like, oh yeah, it was a normal day in the office. Good night, everybody. Or have a good day. I don't know where you are. Bye.